Well, guys, strap onto your seats because we're about to talk about AEW Fight for Forever. We're going to talk about the good, the bad, and yes, even the ugly. Hello, gamers. Welcome back to the channel once again. I am Robert Storms, and today we are going to review AEW Fight Forever. So if you're new to the channel, please do me a massive favor and smash the like and subscribe button for all future content here on the channel. So strap in, everybody. We have a brand new wrestling game from Ukes and THQ Nordic, the same people behind some of the old school WWE games that we all loved growing up. And how does AEW live up to that expectation? I've always loved the No Mercies, WrestleMania 2000s, and the WCW versus the World and Revenge on the N64. And over time, I just haven't really gotten into wrestling games as much as I did before because they feel more like wrestling simulator. Well, THQ Nordic and Ukes wanted to kind of destroy that mold and go back to basics. So how does AEW Fight for Forever live up to that legacy? There's a lot of good that I enjoyed about this game, and there is some bad that I just did not care for. So I want to start with the bad. I want to get the bad and the ugly out of the way, and then we can focus on the positives toward the end of the review. So the story mode, a lot of people, rightfully so, has been hating on the story mode. The story mode is god awful, guys. Like, sometimes you get voice acting, sometimes you get text. It's very super generic. I don't understand why we need a story mode in a wrestling game. I understand you want to keep your audience engaged into the game, but I felt like it would be a much better idea. You pick either a wrestler on the main roster or one of your creative wrestlers, and you go through these events and you're trying to work your way up to the card. And depending on the audience interaction and the star rating of your matches, you get to move up to the card till eventually you get in a title shot. I think that is a much better scenario. It's more realistic scenario, and I feel like it would be much better if you just get rid of all this dialogue mumbo jumbo and just stop with the story mode and just do something very simple where you're going through the different events and you're working your way up the card to get that main event and title shot. Another good idea for a story mode is if you would really explore the history of AEW. One thing I enjoyed about this game was they actually went back and showed some of the clips of how AEW first started and really kind of get you hyped. You're like, okay, this is awesome. It would have been awesome if they take some of these classic matches and let you relive them. I believe there was a game called WWE or WWF Legends where it shows all these different legendary matches and they show you clips from the match, and then they're like, okay, we're gonna put you in this match and you have to relive this match, and you get to like perform certain moves and stuff like that like they did in the actual match. So that was really awesome, and I feel like AEW could have done something like that. It would have been very, very different. You could have had this basic ladder going up the rank matches with the cards, and then you could also relive the legends of AEW where you can actually do like CM Punk versus Hangman Page, and you see some of the interactions and clips from that, and then you get to relive those matches. It would be a great way for newcomers to AEW to kind of get the history of AEW with those classic all-star matches that AEW put out, and it would be different than other competitors instead of giving us this generic, oh, here we go, story mode, I don't really care, skipping dialogue. I think, yes, there is glitches. Let's get to the ugly. There is glitches in this game. I ran into a lot of glitches, just like we got in the Nintendo 64 PS1 era, but it doesn't take it away. I think it's funny. I was laughing because I just think it was hilarious that I had a guy actually running through the ring. It was hilarious. We ran into this stuff in the early days, and yes, a lot of people will say, well, there's no excuse. We paid $60 for this game. It's 2023. This shit should not go down. I don't care. I think it has charm. I like it. Do I prefer it to happen? Absolutely not. But at the end of the day, it didn't take away my enjoyment. I actually thought it was really funny, and a lot of the stuff with the tables are all glitched out. Like, the tables never really work the way they're supposed to. But like I said, it has charm. It's fun to make fun of. Hopefully, maybe in a future game, they can work on that a little bit more. But the biggest downfall for me was the story mode. I really wish they would just kind of fix that. We don't need a story mode. Just have us relive great moments from the AEW and give us just working up the card, and that would be really just it. But overall, getting into the more positive stuff now, I'm enjoying the game. I'm getting my butt completely handed to me online. Currently, I'm 0-4, but I had fun just going through and playing the different modes, like the lights out mode, which is the hardcore mode. You can go grab thumbtacks and just slam your opponent into the thumbtack, and then you can do this barbed wire explosion match, which is really cool. You got tag team matches. One thing that I'm really enjoying doing is I won every title with Kenny Omega. I literally went to every person that has a title and I picked Kenny Omega and just demolished them. And I'm having such a great time just running around with my Skate 8 titles, looking like the boss that I am. Unless I play online, then I'm not a boss at all. But I'm having fun just playing the game, and it's really cool just being able to have all those titles when you come out. But the biggest thing that a lot of people are probably wondering is, how is the wrestling mechanics? Well, at first it was really jarring because I didn't know how everything worked. They say it's like an old school Nintendo 64 wrestling game, and yes, it kind of is, but the control scheme still is kind of different. So it took me like a good hour to really kind of figure out things. But once I actually got those control schemes down and I learned how to do the signatures, I learned how to do the finishers, learned how to do the different grapple moves. It took me forever to figure out how to run. I finally figured that out. I was able to start performing better. I delivered a 7-star match. I won every title with Kenny Omega, and the control schemes are great. That's what I wanted, right? So much now that these wrestling games and even sports games like Madden, they're more like simulators of the actual sport or wrestling event that they are. Me personally, I want that old school arcade feeling. And for me, you actually delivered that with AEW Fight for Forever. It feels like one of those old school Nintendo 64 PS1 wrestling games. Yes, of course, it doesn't have all the bells and whistles that you would see in like a current WWE game, but I would take fun factor any day. The fact that I could just pick this up, play with my friends and all this stuff, that's what I enjoy. I really enjoy just being able to play these wrestling games and just kind of go crazy and do all the stuff that I used to do back in the N64. So overall, AEW Fight for Forever isn't a perfect game by any stretch of the imagination, but if you go in buying this, knowing what you're going to be getting, then I think you're going to have fun with this. As long as you go in knowing that this is a love letter to old wrestling games and a love letter to fans of old wrestling games, you're going to appreciate it and find some fun in it. This is not like your current wrestling games where you're going to get ultra realistic, super over the top intros and all that. It's not a wrestling simulator, it's a wrestling game, and for me, I find it fun. However, with that said, let's go to the verdict. AEW Fight for Forever, wait for it to go on sale. Now, I'm really enjoying the game. However, I do not recommend anybody picking this up for $60. Once this thing goes on sale for like $30 to $40, I think it's a more acceptable pill to swallow for the amount of content and the things that are wrong with the game. However, if you are a hardcore wrestling fan and you've been wanting to play something that gives you that nostalgia feeling, then AEW is definitely something I highly recommend. But I want to know what you guys think. Be sure to leave your comments in the comment box below. Have you picked up AEW Fight for Forever? Are you going to be picking it up, or are you going to be waiting for the game to go on sale? Leave those comments in the comment box below. And until next time, as always, I am Robert Storms, and thank you for watching.